Hanson.
Thank you very much. Well, One Nation opposes digital ID. Labor and its allies, the Coalition and the Greens, have rushed 9 laws through the Senate today with no debate or scrutiny, and One Nation opposed all of them on this basis. One of them was horrifying consequences for our future and our freedom, the digital ID law. This law is designed to control the Australian people. It's a step towards the 15-minute cities already being imposed in the United Kingdom, heavily penalising anyone trying to travel outside their community. This is a secretive international effort to establish a one-world government with no freedom and no capacity for dissent. Let's never forget how easily Australian governments imposed restrictions on us during the pandemic. We couldn't go anywhere without a digital vaccination certificate. Our freedom of speech was suppressed by governments and by tech and continues on social media content still. I will call it out the way I see it, as I always.
What's your take on this debate? Share your thoughts in the comments below and join the discussion on today's biggest political clash.
Have done. Digital ID is the first step towards these restrictions being imposed on us permanently. Last year, because I was a senator, I was not allowed to exchange Australian currency for euros or British pounds like every other Australian. UK political leader Nigel Farage had his bank account closed because activists disagreed with his views. He was debanked. All of your digital data will be owned by governments. You'll have no physical proof you own anything, including your home. And it is happening now and has for years. We've seen how insecure this data always is. There have been 9 breaches of Australia's personal data in March 2024 alone. Your new oppressors will tell you digital ID is your best interest, that it will make things easier, that it will protect you from bad people, and all it will cost is your freedom and right to privacy. As Klaus Schwab said, you'll own nothing
And what you just heard in that Parliament exchange is not just a political disagreement, it is a direct warning about where this system is heading. Senator Pauline Hanson stood up and didn't just oppose the digital ID bill, she framed it as a fundamental shift in how control over citizens is being built step by step under the cover of legislation. She claims that multiple laws were rushed through the Senate without proper debate or scrutiny, and that digital ID is not an isolated policy, but part of a broader structure of digital governance. According to her, this system moves Australia closer to a model where movement, identity, and access to services are increasingly tied to centralized digital verification, and the argument escalates quickly. She links digital ID to wider global trends, referencing restrictions during the pandemic, digital vaccination systems, and what she describes as expanding limits on free expression through tech platforms. In her framing, these are not separate events. They are connected stages of the same trajectory toward permanent digital oversight. What makes the speech more intense is the claim that financial and personal freedoms are already being affected. She points to examples involving banking restrictions on political figures and suggests that digital systems could eventually replace physical proof of ownership and identity entirely, concentrating control of personal data in government systems. Supporters of digital ID argue it improves security and simplifies access to services, but Hanson's position is that convenience always comes with a cost, and in this case, she argues that cost could be privacy, autonomy, and freedom of movement. The core tension in this exchange is not just about technology, it is about trust, whether digital infrastructure is being built as a tool for efficiency or as a framework for long-term control. And now the question moves beyond Parliament. Is digital ID a practical modernization of government systems, or is it the beginning of a permanent shift in how citizens are monitored, verified, and restricted in everyday life? Drop your thoughts in the comments, because this debate is far from over.